Everyone knows the story of Peter Pan, right? The boy who never wanted to grow up and never does grow up and lives in a place called Neverland with other lost boys who never want to grow up. That's great. That's fantasy. But are you Peter Pan? Do you have Peter Pan syndrome where you don't want to grow up? And I know what you're saying. Well, hang on. Why have you got some Superman toy and shit in the background? Listen, just because I collect shit, just because I'm into nerdy shit, doesn't mean I'm Peter Pan. Those are my interests. I'm happily married in a long-term relationship with a woman. The reason why men like you potentially are single and others are single because they can't ever seem to get a girlfriend or even get a date or get the right date and the right girlfriend is because they have this syndrome where they must never grow up. They must never take accountability. They must never take responsibility. They still live in their mother's basements. They still live with their parents and they can't ever mature. By not maturing, you are never ever going to be able to find a woman, period. And if you need my help with that and you're serious about finding the right woman, let me help you. Check out the links in the description and the pinned comment down below. So, this Peter Pan syndrome, like I said, it's obviously you're not wearing green and trying to fly with fairies. You are just immature, right? You're immature. And a woman doesn't want to be dating a man who's immature. Now, in the depths of your heart and your soul, you obviously do want a woman. You want love. You want connection. You want something more, right? You want, okay, well, I've seen my parents get married and everything like that. But to have the right woman in your life means that you have to be the right man. And to be the right man, it means you have to grow up. And growing up can feel incredibly uncomfortable for those with Peter Pan syndrome. It means that mummy and daddy aren't going to pay for everything anymore. It means that you have to do your own laundry and your ironing, which is bloody shit and degrading. It means you're going to have to clean up for yourself. It means you have to cook for yourself. You have to manage on your own. And the longer that you don't manage on your own, the longer you stay stuck in Neverland of your own doing. Now, some of you might say, well, hang on a second, I've moved out, I'm renting, I've got my own place. You know, what's my problem? Well, your problem is you're still not mature. Because what is the reality of being with a woman? What is the reality of having a relationship, especially with the right woman? Not just any woman, the right woman. First of all, it ain't easy. Okay? Relationships aren't for every man. Some men can look like they can handle it, and some men can't. But also the men who can't fall under this Peter Pan syndrome. The Peter Pan syndrome where I just want to go back to being childish, being stupid, however that is. You might not necessarily have childish interests, but your approach to relationships and dating is childish. Where you nitpick constantly, you're always looking for flaws, you're judging the superficial way more than the depth and the connection, and you don't want what it takes. Forget have what it takes. You don't want it. You say you want to get married, but you really don't. You say you want to actually have companionship, but you're too selfish and entitled and immature. This is what I'm talking about. You would rather nitpick and potentially turn away the right match for you than actually give it a go. Because what happens when you actually give it a go? Well, the honeymoon will end eventually. Okay? You will be in the reality of living and dating a woman. That's with her menstrual cycle. That's with her mood swings. That's with her anxiety. That's when life throws curveballs. That's where having uncomfortable conversations. That's where the sex is not as good as anymore, or like you have dips in intimacy and peaks and so on. That's when life happens. And you don't want all of that. You'd rather have little tastes, little dip your toe in and out of it and hope for the best. And that's the problem. So how do you grow up? Well, obviously there's so many different layers. For those who are desperate for companionship, desperate for a girlfriend and so on, you got to move out. But I can't afford to. Well, find a way to afford to. Because no self-respecting woman, that woman of your dreams that you've always wanted, is not going to date you if you live with your parents. And I don't give a shit how young or old you are. Get out. The lessons you'll learn about life and you will set you up better for marriage and relationships moving forward. Okay? I don't even give a shit about culture. Get the hell out of there. Okay? I could not meet my wife or date my wife if I lived with my mother. Okay, end of. It's not going to happen. Now, what about the men who have moved out? What about the men who've got all the boxes ticked? What about these men who don't think they are Peter Pans? Well, I think you are. And the sooner you're honest with yourself, and the sooner you actually say it for how it is, the faster you'll have a breakthrough with dating. The faster you'll be off dating apps, the faster you'll be in the right relationship and on the right trajectory. I want you to look at your dating history most recently and why it didn't work out. Listen to the feedback there. Did she reject you, even though you liked her, loved her, whatever, because she didn't see a future with you? If she didn't see a future with you, it's because you're not mature enough. You're prioritizing stupid things like going out and getting drunk, partying in your 40s, all this other bullshit. And every time she wanted to talk about something serious or see where this is going, you change the subject. Or perhaps you dated for years and years and didn't propose. Perhaps you even got married somehow, some way, and when she brought up children, you shit yourself. This is Peter Pan syndrome. It is so tempting to go off to Pleasure Island, off to Neverland, and play with the mermaids, fight Captain Hook in fantasy world. This is the real world. And the real world don't work like this, my friend. The real world is hard. Relationships, marriage, children is hard. But it's only hard for a child. Because most boys become men when they become fathers. Most boys become real men when they enter relationships. I used to think I was a very accomplished man and I knew everything about life and relationships. But not until I met my now wife and what we had to endure, real life struggles, real serious problems beyond us as well, did it take my maturity up 100-fold. Was I prepared for it? Probably not. But the fact I've stayed loyal and with her and her with me, and we've gone through the process, grown through the process again, is everything you need to know and to become. Well, how do I do this? Where do I, learn this? Well, obviously I can help you, and I will help you in the description and pin comment below. But let me give you some advice. It doesn't mean that you don't have to ever watch an anime ever again. It doesn't mean that you can't have fun. It doesn't mean that you have to become a boring, serious, miserable bastard. What it does mean is, in the height of adversity, when things are uncomfortable, when things look uncertain, when you need to be relied upon, you have to be those things. You have to step up. And I know it's scary, and I know it's terrifying, and I know it's a lot of pressure, but that's what it takes. Because otherwise, have no pressure. Live carefree. Don't date. Don't have a relationship. Never settle down. Never have kids. Never experience love. I've experienced both sides of the coin. Actually, I've experienced more. I've had a shit relationship with the wrong person. That made me really immature. I was single and thought this is the life for me. Was even more immature. And then I found my relationship and that was right for me. My marriage, that was right for me. I'm pro-marriage, pro-relationship, not with any woman, with the right woman. You need to step out of yourself. You need to take this step back and say, I'm ready to grow up. Write in the comment section now, I'm ready to grow up. Okay? That does, again, not mean that you have to throw away all of your figurines and all this other shit. But if you're going in head first saying, well, I love this stuff and she needs to like it and take me for what I am. No. No one gives a shit about your hobbies. No one gives a shit about your collections. No one gives a shit about your opinions on the DC or Marvel universe. All women care about is who you are deep down. And can she rely on you? Can she lean on you? Can you be the rock? Can you be the supporter? Can she love you? Because when she does love you and when she supports you and when she can trust you with those things, your life will change. Because one of the most beautiful moments I've ever experienced is sitting down and liking something from my childhood that's nostalgic with me and sharing it with my wife. And you know what's even interesting? You bring out the inner child in that person because she shared things with her childhood and we've had that shared memory together as husband and wife. If you want all of those things, follow this advice, reach out to me and connect with me in the description, pin comment below, and write in the comments, I am ready to grow up.